Well, it just keeps getting better. Anything and everything that could go wrong, one of the bolts has gone wrong. We're still stuck out on the water. I don't think I've cooked my motor. What a day. What a bloody day. Welcome back again, guys. The last time you see me, it would have been on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, when I was out trying to get some higher numbers out of my 26 pitch Ron Hill chopper prop that I had. Depending on the conditions and the weather, as you'll see on some of my GoPro, it was a bit rough out because we had a bit of wind. But I only managed to pull 76.6 miles an hour with that 26 pitch chopper on. Since finding the block fuel filter, which was holding me back, I pretty much had to throw all my testing for props and motor heights in the bin and start again now that I was able to rectify that problem. When I originally started out, I was running my motor at 55mm below pad. There's 30mm of adjustment here, and it's currently at 25mm below pad. So I'm slowly increasing the jack plate up. As you can see here, most accurately for me, I will get the boat true and level on the transom here because I have some uneven ground. I've jacked the trailer just to make sure the boat is dead level, and then I will trim the motor so that the motor off the cav plate is also true and level. And then what I do, I've got a laser level here, set the laser level up. As you can see, it's pretty well dead on the plank where I've got it set up, and then therefore I know it's true with regards to the laser getting it in line with prop shaft height. And that's how I work out my motor height correctly. Then I can just go up in increments. If I'm out on the water, I can take a little ruler with me and jack it up while I'm out in reference to where it is now. I will know where I'll be sitting, whether I'm making improvements coming up or creating more slip. So that's a little tip that I've learnt along the way. Maybe you can incorporate it and use that for yourselves. Maybe you have another way that's better. Again, I'm all learning, so please comment and let me know. Always encouraged to learn new things, and I know there's a lot of older blokes out there that have been doing this for many years. Also, like I said, when I tested my 26 pitch chopper, it was putting a whole heap of torque steer through my arms. I was getting sore forearms. I have this pretty heavy duty torque strap on here to help reduce that. It was still very aggressive and violent. Maybe that's in relation to the motor needing to come up more for the 26 pitch. Personally, I've found it very comfortable to drive with the 24 pitch chopper on, and it gets the nose of the boat up out of the water and gets the wind under the hull, and it really drives nice, and it's comfortable to steer with as well. It has very minimal torque steer. So in saying that, I've got lucky, and recently a guy yesterday posted for sale a Yamaha 24 pitch drag prop. I've only seen them in the States. I've never even seen one in Australia personally, unless they're on someone's shelf collecting dust or an ornament. Really scored there. So that's my 24 pitch big air chopper, and this is the 24 pitch drag. So obviously you can see that has a very big surface area for the bunny ear, and the Yamaha 24 drag, it's very aggressively smaller blade. I think sometimes people in America will call that a lightning cut. It's probably the closest cut to what this shape blade is a lightning cut. Feel free to correct me in the comments below. I managed to pull 82 mile an hour with this 24 pitch bunny ear prop. It has a little bit of cupping, so I'm really interested to see how this one goes. My friend Ross Willerton, he has a Tennessee, the exact same hull as my boat here, and he has this prop, and he manages to pull 94 mile an hour with it, with the prop shaft pretty close to pad height. So that's where mine is now. Mine's at about 25 mil below. I'm going to test that out hopefully in the next day or so. It's Friday again, so another week's gone by, but this weekend I'll be filming flat out. I'll have the GoPros, I'll be testing these props, and I'll keep you up to date with all my trials and testing, and hopefully winning and not failing. Alrighty, so it's Friday afternoon, finally got off work, and after yesterday's changes, swapping over to the Yamaha 24 pitch drag prop, me and Loz are going to head down to the boat ramp. There's a couple other fellas there that want to test their boats out as well. This Sunday is the first of the Gold Coast ski boat runs for 2023, so we're just going to go and make sure our boats are running right. I'm going to see what I can get out of this prop, as I said, and just make sure everything's running sweet, ready for Sunday when all these boats get together. It should be a good gathering. Should be at least 15-20 boats minimum, hopefully. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll let you know how I get on today. Getting a mad vibration through the steering wheel and through the motor. I hope that's all it is that the prop's unbalanced.
Why, was it like bad?
Yeah, it was just like... vibrating, and the motor doesn't sound right. it doesn't sound like it usually does, like all nice and crisp, but it's like lost that crisp note. It's like this is doing idle, it doesn't idle like that. It's not even idling now. I think I just started it then and drove out and forgot to click it back off the starter too. It's not even in gear and I can feel a vibration through the pedal when I rev it. Well, it's always adventure. We went for the afternoon test run with this 24 pitch drag prop and felt a extremely bad vibration through the motor, the steering wheel, my foot throttle, and it turns out all my power head bolts have backed out and my sandwich plate gasket has let go. We're still stuck out on the water. I don't think I've cooked my motor. It still had water pressure, but it was extremely hot when I pulled up. I've tightened all the power head bolts, but it is still getting pretty hot, so we're gonna have to baby it back to the ramp. Hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully I can do something and get it sorted before this ski boat run on Sunday, but it pretty much means pull the whole motor apart. Tighten the power head bolts back down. Obviously all the vibration and horsepower has loosened them off, but I think the gaskets have blown out in the sandwich plate and under the power head, because it will drive fine, but as soon as you put your foot down the engine temperature warning light comes on. So I'm gonna have to baby it back to the ramp and see if we can get it fixed over the weekend. In saying that, what better place would you want to be broken down? Definitely beats the side of a highway. Changes colour like chameleon. Test went alright. Managed to pull 82 mile an hour, raising that motor up another 5-6 mil, 7,400 RPM still, but it's always an adventure. I thought I heard a rattle and this is what I discovered. My velocity stack has rattled itself off, so that's what the noise was I was hearing. But just inspecting the lower pan here, we've only managed to find one of the bolts, so I'm hoping I can find the other bolt somewhere in the pan here, and hopefully it hasn't gone in the carb and is trapped in the reeds, because that won't be good. That would be a grenaded motor. What I've got here is a little inspection endoscope camera. I highly recommend it. I think this one is it's a fairly expensive one. It cost me about $200, but really good for checking your piston wash, and obviously to do, I can stick this down the carbies and inspect if anything's inside the motor. So it's got a little camera, you can turn a little light on, so I'm going to stick this down in the carb and hopefully I can see if that nut is in the motor. So I can't see anything in the reed cages, which is a good thing I suppose, but yeah, comes in really handy. I'm able to inspect inside the motor. But yeah, this setting, it has little, you can buy a memory card for it and take pictures as well. You know, if you want to take pictures of your piston wash and stuff like that. So I got this from J-Car ProTech. You can get a cheaper one that plugs into your phone for about $50, but I got this one, the little inspection screen, so I don't have to worry about hooking it up to my phone. Welcome back, guys. So yesterday, testing out the propellers, to finding a very aggressive vibration through the whole boat to where we are now. Everything absolutely pulled apart. So turns out this sandwich plate gasket was completely destroyed. There's what's left of it on the ground there. So I've got a new one there, replacement. It's been an effort, but hopefully I can get this all back together. New gasket in there, put the sandwich plate back on, and I've got a HP gasket. It's like one of those metal ones, so it's reusable. I'll clean that up and that will go under the power head. Hopefully it all lines back up without any dramas and we can get it all back together again. And here we are again, quick update. Power head's all back on again, just bolting the gearbox up. But I don't know if you can see in there, but new gasket's all in. So I'll just button up that gearbox, retension my steering cables, and we should make it tomorrow to the ski meeting. Fingers crossed. So here we are, Sunday morning. We've made it to the first annual 2023 Gold Coast ski boat run. Boat's turning up now, so fingers crossed the repairs I did on the motor work. The poppet valve is leaking a little bit, but hopefully that's not an issue. We're just dropping in now with some of the boys and to go meet up at the meeting spot, so stick around, it'll be a good day. That's Tucker, the guy I raced against in the green one, remember? So just dropped the boat in. We made it to the meetup, but the boat was severely breaking down. It's absolutely spraying water out from behind the poppet valve. It's wetting my electrics. It's flooding the bottom carburetor, so no good. We literally just babied it up here to the second meet spot. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go on the run around the island, but I'll try to bring you some content of the boats that have turned up here, and who knows, I might even try bush mechanic it and try fix it. I don't know, I could probably pull the guts of the pop-off valve out, maybe try and make it flow. It's leaking like behind the gasket, the bolts are stripped. I don't know, but for now we'll just have a look at some boats and show you what it's all about here, Gold Coast, Australia, ski boat.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
What do you reckon, babe? Next boat, eh? Quite a bit more reliable, good on fuel, no one will steal it, always get where you're going. Well, sorry to let you down, guys. Didn't manage to get around Russell Island on the cruise with all the boats, and it looked like a really good turnout. There's so many cool boats out there. I wish I could have been there, but like I said, my pop-up valve was just spraying water everywhere, all over the electrics. It was running like crap. It was sucking in the bottom carby, but we've gone to super cheap. I've bought a helicoil kit. I'll see if I can work a miracle and get this thing fixed and try get out and back out on the water and hopefully still see some cool boats. But end of the day, stay positive and never give up. Bloody boats. Gonna drill them out, tap them, see how we go. So I've put a helicoil in the two bad ones there. The other ones were holding up alright, but just gonna gasket goop the crap out of these, put them back on and hope for the best. I've removed the poppet valve out, so hopefully that relieves some pressure. Alright, so we're back in action, baby. I've just put a whole heap of gasket goo on there. I pissed off the gaskets and just filled it with this Worth's gasket flange sealant. It's all back together, it's all tightened up hard, so hopefully we can get back out there and enjoy the rest of the day. Woo. Probably go around that way. We'll do a couple of flies down Millionaire Road. The day after wherever you see me last. A follow up from yesterday testing when we had the 26 on. I've put the 24 back on after raising it 10 mil, and just to make sure I've maxed out that 24, and we managed to pull 81.3 mile an hour, so at 7,400 RPM. So there was a small gain there with the 24 on. What I've done now is I've raised the motor another 6 mil. So as you can see from my last measurement on the jack plate, that was it there. We've come up 6 mil. So we'll see if we can make some improvements. Hopefully pull more RPM. Like I said, we pulled 7,400 and about 20 RPM. So hopefully raising it that 6 mil, we can pick up more RPM and in turn pick up more mile an hour. So if we can get above 81.3, I think it was, we know we're making gains. We've got my mate Dean out with us. He's got the Numbnuts Racing 1650 bullet center steer, the old Seacall Marine bullet, that's where it come from. He's just got the standard 200 on it, but he's got a Gt26 TE cleaver on, and he's been chasing some gremlins as well. Turns out that the timing wasn't set right. They've clicked the timing a few turns and it's doing really great for a standard motor. He's pulling 80 mile an hour too now, so we'll turn the GoPros on and get you some more footage of us testing and having fun out in the water.
hat too on it. And twine. Hey, look at this screen. Hey, no pictures here, no pictures.
Top secret. Top secret. Oh, mangrove Murph. Well, it just keeps getting better. We fixed the poppet valve and we got back out on the water. We met up with some of the fellas and on our way home, giving it a stab about 80 mile an hour, and it looks like I've snapped the drive shaft in my CLE gearbox. I won't know till I get home, but the motor runs. When you grab the propeller and turn it, it clicks like it's in gear, but it's not propelling the boat forward. So I dare say the diagnosis is a snap drive shaft. So what a day. What a bloody day. Anything and everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, but that's boating. We'll be back. So I've blown up 2 Sportsmasters and now I've blown up 2 CLEs. I got a good record. Hopefully I can get rid of this black cloud over my head soon enough. Well, what an eventful day of boating it's been. We've persisted and persisted to stay out there on the water, but at the end of the day the boat gods just ended up getting the better of us. My friends Chris and Mick come to the rescue, helped me pick up my truck and pick the boat up. We've lost drive up to the motor. The motor still starts, but yeah, it's just not powering here at the prop. So as my friend Chris pointed out to me, I've hooked it up to the flusher to self-diagnose. If it still pumps water out of the motor, the drive shaft is moving and engaging the impeller. So I've got it hooked up to the water. I'm just about to start the motor to flush it, to flush the salt out of the motor. But yeah, like I said, if this pumps water out of the telltale, the drive shaft is good, and it's probably something down here in the gearbox in the dog clutch that could be broken, which is my problem. So I'm going to chuck it on the muffs, see if we pump water, and then we'll know. So a good way to self-diagnose. Thanks to Chris pointing that out for me while I'm in the midst of all this drama going on and wanting to get out of the water and get home. So cheers. So as you could see, it was pumping water, but it was very minimal, so I didn't want to run the motor too much longer. But yeah, I'll pull the box off. I'll probably drop the box later on this week and see what the go is. I'll keep you updated and let you know what I find. Well, I took the gearbox off, and as you can see here, the drive shaft is seized and the prop shaft is spinning. It's alright. Welcome back, guys. Sorry I look like I'm in a horror movie here. Just inspecting this gearbox, double checking a few things. Got a set of vice grips and just engaging the forward and reverse in my gearbox, just to troubleshoot and see, because when I had the power head off replacing the sandwich plate gasket, obviously I had to remove the gear selector shaft. So I thought to myself, I could have incorrectly put that back in a tooth or a 1/6 out, which could have helped it bump out of gear in choppy water. So I put some vice grips on the gearbox, which I've removed. Just try and see if the shaft would still spin and engage in reverse and forwards. But in doing that, the drive shaft still isn't turning. But what was funny is previously when I took my boat out and you seen my bottom velocity stack on the bottom carburetor had vibrated off, and I couldn't find that bolt, which I then used my endoscope camera to look inside the carburetor in the reeds just to make sure it didn't go inside the motor. Well, after inspecting and pulling this gearbox off, you won't believe the bolt has fallen down into the front of my gearbox inside the leg of the motor, and I just thought that was a bit funny, not being able to find that bolt and knowing as to where it's gone and then finding it down the gearbox. So I thought I'd just share that with you. Bit out of the ordinary, but hey, that's what boats do sometimes. Weird shit. Alright, welcome back for another update, guys. Sorry if these videos come out a bit mixed and matched. I try to keep you up to date with all the things that I do in between in my spare time. Like, this isn't my job, I don't do it for a living. When I tinker on my boat and go to events or social meets and all that, it's just something that I have a passion for, and I like to share it with other people. Maybe you can use this to troubleshoot problems for yourself. If these videos come out a bit wishy-washy or mix and match, that's because I don't stand here and double take and triple take and get it perfect. I only film myself once. What you see is what you get. That's how I am. I'm no perfectionist, except when it comes to boats. I like to be on top of that. Following up from the first Gold Coast ski boat run for the year, I brought it home. I thought I fixed it. I just filled it with gasket goo and screwed it all together. The outside case of the poppet valve actually has a little hole which I was unaware of, and while I was out I did some running bush mechanics, and I found a little screw in my boat with some electrical tape, and I plugged that up. But it was spraying water all over the engine and the two of my bolts, as you'll see in the videos, were completely stripped, and it was just under load. It was just spraying water all over the electrics and making it run like a dog. So I've bought some new gaskets. The poppet valve gaskets I think cost me $9. So I'm just going to pull that out, because when I was in a rush to get back out on the water and try get some more content for you guys of some other boats, I pulled the internals of the poppet valve gasket out and just screwed it all back together. But looking at my dash, my EGT temperatures were really low, so I know people talk of possible cold seizing, revving the motor too much or driving too hard and possibly cold seizing the motor. So I try not to go too hard, but in saying that, I did give it a stab next to another boat, and that's when the gearbox blew up. Thinking back about that now, when the power head bolts rattled themselves loose before I could pick that up, and I was feeling the vibration through the motor and through the boat and the steering and everything, I think that's where I've probably damaged my gearbox, and it's contributed to the gearbox blowing up. So unsure as yet. I haven't pulled the gearbox apart to see what's wrong with it, but I'm guessing it's stripped the pinion gear. Hopefully it's an easy fix. I know a lot of people, so hopefully they'll have some parts lying around and I can get that fixed and try get back out on the water this weekend to continue testing and try improving and trying to do better. I'll show you what I'm going to do with the poppet valve. It's pretty straightforward while I've got it all apart in pieces, and I'll put that back together, and yeah, hopefully that'll help hold some more pressure and more heat into the motor for me. Here we are. I've got my poppet valve all pulled off the motor and apart. Pretty sure I have it in the order in which it assembles. I have read online that some people have put these back together again with the new gaskets and the gasket goo, and have had trouble with water still coming out the little weep hole here. From what I've been reading, that's either due to because of this little diaphragm here being corroded around the outside. Mine's not in the best condition. I did give it a hit with a little bit of sandpaper, but I'll probably just get some sealant and just thumb a bit of sealant around the outside just to ensure that it seals in. Obviously I'm just going to put a bit of sealant around here before I put the gaskets on, just to make sure that it's all sealed correctly, and a little bit of sealant around that diaphragm, and put it all back together and put it back on the motor. And hopefully my engine can hold a little bit more temperature and make it run more efficiently where it's supposed to. So there you have it. Should look something like that. A little bit of a sandwich. Now it's ready to go back on the motor. There you have it. One replaced poppet valve with gaskets. Hopefully that'll keep me out of trouble now and no more water over the electrics. And just be careful tightening those bolts up, or otherwise you'll squeeze those cork gaskets out. Just go firm but don't over tighten them. See how we go next time we drop in. Booyah!